A very warm good evening from India in this New Year 2023 winters to each and every respected joinee of today's program. Today we are hosting a very interesting panel discussion on the experience of Goodwill Mission and educational tour of Bhutan. From the team members of this trip, along with our learned fraternity, we have our reverend panelists who would be covering the experiences and insights on the different aspects. Dr. Chandravati Joshi ma'am will be covering culture in Bhutan. Dr. Kishori Das, social security and education in Bhutan. Our professor Uma Shankar Sharma sir, he would be covering farming and agriculture in Bhutan. Rajkumar Agarwal sir would be covering green learning in Green Bhutan, and Dr. Ushashi ma'am, she'll be covering educational policies of Bhutan in light of Indian NEP 2020. So, may I now request our respected Professor Himlata Talesra ma'am to coordinate today's panel discussion. Over to you, Himlata ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Seema. Um, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you, friends, and today we are sharing the experiences of the members who visited Bhutan and other places from 30th November to 23rd November. So first I request our webmaster to start the video, general status of Bhutan. Webmaster, please. Yeah.
मैम इसमें वॉइस नहीं है क्या?
हाँ, इसमें शायद ये लिखा हुआ है.
अच्छा अच्छा.
These are the most important places of Bhutan. We are showing in the video. Bhutan is the happiest country in the world, and it is very greenery and covered by the mountains. And 72% of the Bhutan is covered by forest. So main places are showing in the video, and after video I will start the PPT. We visited all these places. Also visited some institutions, some natural places, markets, monastic schools, temples, and visited most of the places of beautiful surroundings. Now you start the PPT. PPT. Bhutan has been declared as the happiest country in the world, and with negative carbon emission. Not only it has a negative carbon, in fact, footprint, it is the only country which is also a carbon sinkhole. So this is the map of Bhutan, and it is the nearest from India, China, Bangladesh, Nepal. And The constitution requires that no less than 60% of the total land area remains forest. It has 72% of forest according to the survey of 2016. So on January 13th, we visited Bhutan, Darjeeling, Sikkim, and Siliguri as in an educational tour and goodwill mission. So, according to the 6th January 2023 total population of Bhutan, next total population, this is the places we visited. Peru, Thampu is the kingdom, and Poncelong. So in Bhutan, we covered all three places, and according to the Worldometer elaboration, the total population of Bhutan is in 6th January 2030 is only 792.90 thousand. It is based on the world meter equivalent to 0.01% of the world population. So Bhutan has very less population, and the official language of Bhutan is Dozinski. And earlier, the king of Bhutan, Jigme Singvi Wenjunki, he was 1972 to 2076, favored democracy, and elections were held with the establishment of constitution in 2005 and converting Bhutan into a constitutional monarchy, because he realized the fact that Bhutan may not always have a good and honest king. So, and the population happy. So, therefore, we find in Bhutan the king and the monarchy and democracy also. And about some interesting facts of Bhutan. Next PPT. Number one is the Bhutan population is very less, 0.01% of the total population of the world. Second is the Bhutan is a democratic constitutional monarchy, and the king Jigme Kesar, Wenjuki, and Geneste Pema is the queen. Number third, Bhutan believe the gross national happiness instead of GDP, because Bhutan does not believe in GDP as an indicator of economic growth and development. It has introduced another measurement known as gross national happiness, sustainable development. And the main 4 points insist. Number one is sustainable development. Number two, preservation and healthy and promotion of values, cultural values. Number three, good governance. And number four is a healthy environment. And one thing is very interesting. Bhutan does not have any traffic light in Peru, because they believe in the police and they are very disciplined. Bhutan is the only country, these are the king and queen, present king and the head of the state, King Jigme Kesar Namegril Wenjuki, and this is the queen, Jetson Pema is the queen. And the king and queen is the Bhutanese people consider them as a god, and they are very simple and cooperate the population or cooperate the in education, economic aspect, and all aspect. Next, this is the Genkesher Punisham, the highest mountain in Bhutan and the highest unclimbed mountain in the world, with an elevation of 700, 7,570 meters. This is 24,836 feet. It is unclaimed because of the religious importance, and they believe that this is a scattered and not allowed the population or the people to go above on the mountain. And next is also very important that you can make your own stamps. Bhutan has some of the most intricately designed stamps in the world. New stamps are often released to celebrate festivals, anniversaries, even the royal family wedding, and you can join the cultural tradition by making your own stamp at the National Post Office in the country's capital, Thimphu. And this is the tekin. Tekin is the national animal, like the goat. And our members, um, they use these they, and the tekin, it feeds leaves, grass, and bamboos, shoots salt e, also an essential part of their diet. And one important thing is Bhutan has ban on plastic. And next, next is to illegal to kill any animal. However, the Bhutanese eat meat quite a lot, but they import it from other countries. This is also very good. And ban on plastic. And next is the smoking and use of tobacco products are prohibited in public places. Public places like cinema, restaurants, streets, etc. And also an important thing is the cultivation, harvesting, and sale are also prohibited in Bhutan. And next, this is the picture of market. And you see, in this market is without people, because the population of the Bhutan is very less. And next, the airport. This is the airport only in Peru. And the most dangerous airport. It is considered the most dangerous airport in the world because only 8 pilots are well qualified to fly. And next is the cultivation, harvesting, and sale are strictly prohibited. This has been done to make Bhutan the first smoke-free nation. This is the our members. When we reached in the first place of Bhutan, Phunslong, and they honor us, Dr. Uma Shankarji and all, we were 9, and they honor, they welcome. So we were very glad of their hospitality. Next, we visited some institutions, educational institutions, and running by the this is monarchies. Dr. Chandravati is taking the interview from 2 students, college students, and we find what is the status of education. So in Bhutan, the education is free, all level, from school to college level. One thing also interesting in Bhutan, that is quite about Bhutan, all citizens officially become a year old on New Year. This is also interesting. If people forget their birth due to some reason, it is easier to remember it by celebrating a new year. Bhutan gives more priority to year, the month or date, hence the tradition. On New Year, all will celebrate, all are celebrating their birthday. And these are our group members with some Bhutanese students in Bhutanese dress. Hope you recognize the group members. They are here. And before this, we discussed on the educational aspect of Bhutan. And this is the monarch and the students. Buddhism is their population, very popular in Bhutan, and their education is based on the Buddhism. So these are the students. We visited this place also. And next, group member on the bottom of Tiger Hill. We visited Tiger Hill. Some of the members visited, not myself. And next, outside the hotel in Thimphu, our group members, they are enjoying there. We attended a seminar, and myself and Dr. Kishori were delivering some important points and discussing with the seminaries, participants of the seminar. Next, these are the participants, and Dr. Kishori is here in between the students or participants. The seminar was on hygiene, educational hygiene. So, and I am not taking much time, and I request Dr. Chandravati, Associate Professor, Government B.Ed College, Haldwani, Uttarakhand, to speak on culture of Bhutan. Dr. Chandravati has personal experiences, so I request Dr. Chandravati.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to express my views on Bhutan trip, which we have visited 13th of November to 23 November. Good evening to one and all. I am just sharing my personal experiences, what I observed there on the point of culture. As we always say, संस्कृति ही हमारी पहचान है, संस्कृति ही हमारी धरोहर है. First of all, when we reached there in Fulsing town, near the Bhutan border, and it's near the Jaigaon, which is in Siliguri. Jaigaon village is the border of Bhutan. We reached in Fulsing, and the owner, as ma'am already discussed, what I observed there, as the owner of the hotel and the guide, both welcomed, both honored all of us there by presenting a white scarf. And I'll say it's a hospitality is an inbuilt social values in Bhutan. It is awesome hospitality we observe there. And as we all know that white color signifies it's a peace, it's for peace. So they presented us a white color scarf and honored us. It was really very awesome, very heart-touching feeling we felt there. And the second thing which I observed there, that the people of the Bhutanese love their country. Means the love towards their country, the affection, I'll say the devotion for their country was awesome. And with the discussion, when we discuss with them, they told us, as ma'am already quoted the lines, that they said that it's not our king, it's not our prince, ये हमारा prince नहीं है, ये हमारा राजा नहीं है, it's our god, ये he is our god, ये हमारा god है, ये हमारा भगवान है, and ये भगवान हमारे दिल में रहता है. Means king lives in our heart, ये हमारे heart में रहता है, दिल में रहता है. Because when we ask them why you are saying, ऐसा आप क्यों कह रहे हैं, तो they told us that the kind of simplicity in this royal family, the simplicity is in the one of the characteristics of the royal family, and the prince and princess visited almost time with us, spent time with the people of Bhutan. And one thing they told us that when on the birth of first child of the prince and princess, they plant 1008, they did plantation of 1008 plant, they planted there with the support of Bhutanese. Means it's a pious, it is considered a pious work. Means plantation is considered a pious work. Whatever the occasion, means the rituals, they do plantation, they prefer plantation. And the culture tradition of Bhutan is very rich, which we found there. It is in their I'll say it is in their feelings, in their emotions. We show all the traditions and cultures in the form of their national dresses, national languages, and handicrafts of Bhutan. Folk song, folk dance, all showed that the rich culture of Bhutan. Colorful dresses, as we saw that the colorful dresses men wear, go, it is called go. The dress of men of Bhutanese is called go, and national dress with the pretty bright colors. And I'll say it's a one part of culture. A long rope tied ornate the waist of a slum fabric belt. They wear this kind of dress, and women wear kira. It's a dress of women called kira, and kira is the main garment of women. It is an ankle length wrap around dress secured by a belt around the waist and fastened at the shoulders with silver brooches called korma. So this is the dress, the characteristics of dress, how it is built, how they wear it. This is the kind of characteristics of these dresses. And even people, as we are seeing that the people are blindly following Western culture. In present scenario, what we are observing, people are blindly following Western culture, but the Bhutanese culture is very unique, it's very distinct, because even the new generation, whether they are the older people or the younger people, they always follow their tradition, their culture, whether it's in the form of dresses. We see, we observe there that the dresses we see in the same kind of dresses they wear in the market, the same kind of dresses they wear in the school, colleges, and everywhere. Even not in a single day, we never observe them without the dresses, which is the main dress of Bhutanese. So that was attracted us. Even they are not following any other country's tradition, that culture, and they are following their own tradition, their culture, their dresses, their languages. This was means a unique thing we observed there. And if I talk about the architecture and sculpture of the Bhutan, it is also very distinct. It's a very unique for all of us. There are lots of hundreds of monarchies are there, and the sculpture of the monarchies, the architecture of monarchies is very unique. And wherever we observe the means buildings, and whether the buildings of schools, colleges, and the marketplaces, the same sculptures, the same architecture we found there. It is one of the main aspects. Even following the modernization, but they never forget their old sculptures and architecture. And there is no rigid class system. in Bhutan, and social and educational opportunities are not affected by rank or birth. Bhutanese women enjoy equal rights with men, and Bhutan's traditional culture is alive in its performing arts, such as dance and music, which are integral part of ceremonies and festivals all over the country. Unlike many countries, their traditions are not remnant by a gone age. One thing is very unique, which attracted all of us, was that traditional arts and crafts are still practiced as they were done 100 years ago. This is one aspect. And Bhutanese, that we saw that the mask dance is one of the famous dance of Bhutan. And Bhutanese follow Mahayana Buddhism, and Bhutanese language, as the national language of Bhutanese is Donjonka. Dojnk. Donjonka is national language, and after that English is spoken there as a second language. And Bhutanese language and literature, art and crafts, drama, music, ceremonies, and events, architecture, and social and cultural values draw their essence for Buddhism. Means whatever is there, they follow Buddhism. It reflected Buddhism reflected in every aspect of culture. And the influence of religion is highly visible in everyday life. And hundreds of monasteries, stupas, religious institutions, prayer flags, and prayer wheels, mosque, the countryside provide a strong infrastructure and atmosphere for the teachings of their living faith. Monks are respected and play an important part in community life. And Bhutanese textile, it's a very famous Bhutanese textile. Bhutanese textile tradition has in recent years gone internationally. And as we saw there, the small scale industries, which is really based on the contribution, where the contribution of women is much more comparatively to men. And I'll say the sport mainly they enjoy through sports. The people of Bhutan enjoy sports. And archery is the one of the famous sports. I'll say, I think it's a national sports of Bhutan. And they enjoy every aspect of life. Means what I cannot express in my words. Matlab, what we observed there, it was really really awesome for all of us. Thanks, ma'am.
Thanks, Dr. Chandravati. Really, we were very much impressed by the culture of Bhutanese, and we have so many experiences. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Kishori, former head and professor of PM IASE Institute, Sambalpur. Dr. Kishori, please. She will speak on the education and the other aspect. Yes, you unmute, Dr. Kishori. Unmute. Unmute your voice. Unmute, Dr. Kishori. Unmute. Your voice is not clear. Please unmute.
Ma'am, we can take up the other speaker while Kishori ma'am can leave the meeting and join back. Kishori ma'am?
Yes.
I think so you can leave the
So
meeting
I
and join
request
back.
Dr.
So, yeah, we'll
Uma
move to the
Shankar
next.
Sharma, former Vice Chancellor, Mahana Pratap Agriculture and Technology University, will speak on the agriculture and farming in Bhutan.
Am I audible? Good evening.
Yes.
We are here to discuss experiences of Goodwill Mission and educational tour of Bhutan. Respected Dr. Hemlataji Talesra, coordinator of the panel discussion, Wasef Marsade, Kushori Das ji, Usha C ji, Raj Kumar ji, Chandravati ji Joshi, Rahul ji Joshi, Narsimhaj Murthy ji, Ashok ji Jain, Pratibha ji, And last but not least, Dr. Sima Tyagi of SKRIU, Bikaner. Uh, we are discussing about the farming and agriculture in Bhutan. So agriculture plays a dominant role in economy of Bhutan. Agriculture is the foundation of civilization, culture, and heritage of the country. So in 2000, agriculture accounted for 35.9% of GDP of the nation. It declined from 55% in 85 to 33% in 2003. Cereals are important components of Bhutanese diet. Maize and rice, the major crops cultivated. Other crops include wheat, barley, oilseeds, potato, and vegetables like chili, garlic, etc. And additionally, apple, orange, and cardamom are cultivated and exported from Bhutan to nearby countries. So the Bhutanese term for agriculture is sonam, means merit or blessings. Bhutanese people believe that only the fortunate and blessed can be farmers. So here the traditionally shifting cultivation was an important land use practice, and the area cultivated under shifting cultivation was estimated at 32,800 hectares in 88, with an average fallow period of 5 years. So the total area estimated then was around 2 lakh hectares, and in 1961, King Jigme Dorji Wangchok initiated plant development process. So the first 5-year plan introduced plant agriculture, but with a budget of new, because this is the currency of Bhutan, new 20 lakhs. So the entire outlay was financed by the government of India, pegged at INR 17.4 crores, and the kingdom's Department of Agriculture was established in October 1st, 1961. So it set up a number of model farms, seed multiplication facilities, agricultural research stations, and a network of extension workers by 1963. So research farms were set up at Langthempu and Bhur, along with a demonstration farms at Tala. In addition, a horticulture research station was built at Yusipang, so which facilitates orchards at Gasa and Bomthang. So in between 1967 and 71, a third research farm was set up at Kanglung to serve eastern Bhutan. So approximately 80% of the population of Bhutan are involved in agriculture. Now, according to the National Account Statistics 2017, the agriculture sector was the highest contributor to the national economy with 16.52%, followed by the construction industry and hydropower at 16.28 and 13.38 respectively. So the country's total geographical size is 38,394 kilometer, of which cultivable land accounts for just 2.93, means really about only 3% land is cultivable there. Over 95% of the earning women in the country work in agriculture sectors. Majority of rural Bhutanese population in this Himalayan nation are also employed in agriculture sector. Most of the peasants, the farmers in the country are small and marginal because their holding is very less. And contrary to India, the post-independence, the Indian agriculture transformation, food scarce to food exporting country. So primarily due to science-led innovations that cause multifold increase in the agriculture productions from 50.80 million tons in 1950 to 51 over 308.65 million tons in 2021-22. So the production of food grains has made more than 5 times growth in India. So the major contributions comes from the rice and wheat, that too with the advent of green revolution on account of significant increase in the productivity. mainly due to availability of improved dwarf varieties and seeds, improved agronomic packages and practices, coupled with irrigation water, fertilizers and pesticides. Though about 80% of our land mass is highly vulnerable to drought, floods, and cyclones. So still Bhutan is largely dependent on India as as regard the cereals, vegetables, and fruits, etc. is concerned, because in Bhutan also facing some challenges like higher cost of cultivation due to increasing input cost like seed, fertilizer, pesticides, farm mechanization, and micro irrigation system, that is drip and sprinkler irrigation system. Then lower productivity of most crops than global average due to lack of diversity of crops and poor rainwater management. Last, least priority to post-harvest management, that is post-management, and secondary agriculture due to lack of grading and packaging. Now, poor storage facilities, lack of quick transportation, poor market infrastructure and mechanism, and lack of processing and value addition. Then the last point is the low farm incomes due to higher cost of cultivation and poor farm productivity. So lack of options with farmers to sell their produce at remunerative prices, poor price realization, etc. is the moreover the demand for food and processed commodities is increasing due to growing populations and rising per capita income. So we have to overall overcome all these challenges of agriculture with the help of our government and international community. Then only our farmers become prosperous and happy. Bhutan has more than 70% of these area under forest cover, and therefore forest products can also be collected by local farmers, which may be exported to other countries as they are organic products. And nowadays there is a huge demand of organic products at good price. So if farmers of Bhutan adopt organic farming and marketing the products is very much beneficial to the farmers, and this will lead to the strengthen the economy of Bhutan. I think so. The sustainable agriculture has the potential to ensure higher and more inclusive growth, reduce Bhutanese food imports, and help to combat malnutrition. A productive and market-driven agriculture sector has the potential to play a significant role in meeting food and nutrition security, poverty reduction, and equitable and sustainable economic goals. The Indian agriculture has undergone transformation from traditional cultivation methods to high-tech agriculture, requiring manpower equipped with latest knowledge and technologies for continued growth and sustainability. Likewise, the Bhutanese government can also play a vital role in improving the agriculture in Bhutan, and which will lead to the economic condition of the farmers in a good conditions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Uma Shankarji Sharma Saab. And really, we enjoyed the organic food and organic
Yes.
vegetables in Bhutan also.
Yes.
So, Dr. Kishori, you are ready?
Hello.
Okay.
Anji.
Dr. Kishori will speak on social security and education in Bhutan.
Okay, thank you. Dear friends, good evening to everyone. My point of discussion is education system in Bhutan and social security. Just 1 minute, please. I was organizing for another program, that's why. Um, Friends, it was a cherished dream fulfilled with our team. Since last 5 years, we were trying to visit Bhutan. But due to some reasons, we are unable to visit Bhutan. Myself and Dr. Professor Talesra, we were keen to visit Bhutan because of many things, mostly the social security. You know that already Professor Talesra and my elder brothers, Professor Sharma and others have told it about Bhutan. One thing which stopped me that how education is related to the social protection of the people of Bhutan was the main concern of our discussion, which struck me. Bhutan is a very small country. It is even a very smaller than one of the Indian states. And another thing is they are dependent on the world for their economic progress. People are, in other words, we can say that they are dependent on the donation of others, but they are so happy, so protected, so self-dependent, so decisive, and most importantly, so educated that nobody can believe that there's a place where such type of people are still surviving. That's why we discuss to present all those aspects. One thing, prior to 1961, there was monastic education in Bhutan. And monastic education was confined to two things: social, social development, religious development, and some forms of economic development. No other development was made. After 1961, education was taking a new shape, and in the year 1976, the education policy, national education policy, took place at Bhutan, and the royal Bhutanese, they started thinking in a different way. Till now, monastic education has also covered the hearts of the people, where people are learning freely up to class 10th. And one thing I would like to suggest, and I would like to correct that, education is not free all at all level. Because I got chance to mix with some people, those who are at higher education level. Up to class 10, education is totally free, and one type of setup is there. Not like India, that varieties of education system are there. One is on some people they are believing in one philosophy, other is believing in another philosophy. Some people are paying high range of fees, and some people they are not giving. Not like that. One type of education, one format of education, one setup of education is meant up to class 10. And after class 10, in 12, there are two streams. One is technical stream and another is general. Students, those who are coming under the general stream are getting fully free education. But those who are in technical side, they are to give something as a token of fee. And after 12, what happens? There are very less technical education center, higher education center. So they are very keen to come as a competitor. So people are coming outside Bhutan for their education on the basis of the donation, scholarship, and sponsorship made by United Nations and other countries. So there is a huge competition among the students after plus 2. But the parent king, who is so considerate, prior to him also the administrator, the king was very conscious about the education. But this king is much considerate than the previous one. And he thinks that if students will be going for higher education and they will not be getting scope anywhere, they may be distracted, they may be aggressive, or they may be wayward, and they may take another step to leave their country. So, after completion of class 10th and plus 2 level, they are assured to provide a job, at least for dual livelihood. So those who pass class 10, they get a scope in different offices as fourth grade employees, third grade employees. Even those who are passing class 2, they are also getting job. It is a mandatory. It is mandatory that they will be getting job, but they will have to compete. So here in Bhutan, their social system, social security means not like our social security. When we are talking about social security in India, we think that different way. Our social security, it refers to some other thing. But in their country, security means social protection. It is about helping the poor or needy, but it is social protection so as to meet different type of needs of the people, just like the lap of the mother. In the lap of the mother, a child feels secure, and the motherland is just like the lap of the mother. If the country is providing livelihood, the source of livelihood, the protection, then the citizen will be feeling secure regarding their lives. Health priority to health education, priority to environment education, priority to cultural education, priority to religious education. They are the components of their education system. And it is a matter that on 28th of June 2022, they have also developed a new education policy that is on draft form, and they are trying to give maximum education to their students, and that education will make them efficient to compete in the global level, not only in national level, but also in global level. Another thing is, COVID has given lessons to the people all over the globe. But in Bhutan, they have not suffered like ours. Their people, they have also suffered, but they have learned it a positive way, and they banned all those ways where they were getting money. And now they have started once again their tourist business, and they have raised the charges of tourist places. For example, if you visit Golden Buddha, they will be charging for 1,000 rupees, which will be equivalent to Bhutan 1,000 Bhutanese currency. At a point of time, it was 50 rupees, then it was 100 rupees, now it is 1,000 rupees. I asked some people that why they have developed this, they have increased the amount. They told that our government, our king is conscious about the future generation. Always they cannot be giving, they cannot provide money. The tourist may not come. So if we not think for our future, they will be beggar. And begging is not always possible. As we know that 72% of their land is forest, and they don't have any factories, reputed factories, industries, other than the cottage industries and handicraft centers. Their production is very, very less. And they are dependent mainly on India and some other countries. Once upon a time, they were totally dependent on China, but now they have banned to China. But how to live a social life? The society, friendship, these are all necessary things. Culture cannot be transmitted unless and until value will be fulfilled. Religion cannot be spreaded over without food. But if education will be given properly, means the technical, professional, livelihood education, if the belly of the people will be fulfilled, their health will be good, if they are competent enough, then only then they can think about that thing. And that part is taken care by the government of Bhutan, which is, it is true that our country is a very big country and it is not possible to provide, but that step should have been taken in our country also. So the main point of their happiness is their social security. Another thing, they are very conscious about environmental protection. So the agenda is, so the
Your voice is not clear. Dr. Kishori, please unmute. Not clear.
We lost you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kishori. Um, the Bhutanese main earning source is tourism after agriculture, and at the time of COVID-19, the tourism was restricted, but the king was given help them in the form of some cash and amount and the things. So there is a social security, and education is also free from
Hello.
primary to college level.
1 minute, please.
So now, Dr. Kishori?
Madam, I will conclude after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So one thing I have seen that we have never visited any beggars in Bhutan, and when we left Bhutan, just after arriving, stepping into India, we numbers of beggars, beggars, because it was only because of the step taken by government. Another thing is that very importantly, they believe to their culture, but at the same time, they give priority to spread over Buddhism, and they don't allow anybody to enter into their country if they don't believe in Buddhism. There is no Muslim community, there is no any other things, and they don't allow the film of Indian heroes in their cinema halls because they believe that the halls are meant for their own country. And they can visit, they can watch the TVs of Shah Rukh Khan and others in their own home, but they don't see in the cinema halls. That is the best part. And that provides them security. They are secure. And girls are feeling more secure. And myself and Dr. Professor Talesra, we interacted with one health group. That is most important. I asked to the organizer that in what capacity you are organizing these things and why you are organizing and what is the fruit you will be going to reap in. They told me that health is the prime in Bhutan. If our people will be healthy and they will get food in time, they can think positively. So our education is meant to provide healthy education both to mind and belly, which is the best part I like. And another thing is monastery education is still prevailing in many parts, and they are trying to dominate over the education system. But the present government, the present king, is not giving privilege to them because we visited many monasteries and I have taken the interviews, I have recorded their views about the monastery holders, the heads of the monasteries, and they told that the king is not supporting to spread Buddhism, Buddhist education all over the country compulsorily, and they are giving stress to the students, those who are interested for higher education outside the country. And this country making their students competent so that nobody can say that they have got the chance out of pity or out of sympathy. They don't need sympathy of anybody. They don't need sympathy of any type of people, but they are lovers, and they are keen to the friendship at world level. So social security is possible when the motherland gives assurance, protects the individuals, both socially, politically, economically, and environmentally. So we have learned many things. It was really exciting. And once again, if I will be getting scope in future, I'll be visiting rest part of Bhutan. Thank you very much,
Thank
Professor
you, Dr.
Salesra,
Thank you,
that
Dr.
we have
Kishori.
fulfilled our vision.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now I
Thank you.
request Sri Rajkumarji Agarwal, the owner of Agarwal Place and Hotel Rahi, Udaipur, to speak on green learning in green Bhutan. Rajkumarji, unmute. Unmute, please. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, madam, for giving me an opportunity to speak on green teaching.
And also, if you can turn the camera a
Yes,
bit,
sir.
we can see you.
Kindly, yeah, kindly come in the frame.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. The YouTube video बना रहे हैं इसलिए आप फ्रेम में आ जाएं, सर. अग्रवाल सर, if you are properly in the frame, आपका वीडियो ठीक से बन पाएगा. Thank you.
Okay, it is now.
Yes, sir, it's perfect.
हाँ बोलिए.
I will speak only some little things on green Bhutan. My number one point is naturally or environmentally green. All the schools campus are clean and green. It is an activity of planting and maintaining various parts of school grounds with teachers and children researching, planting, and then eating the produce of vegetable gardens of almost all the schools. Second point is intellectual greenery. The teachers teach the students learn intellectually greenery through an open mind with logistic thinking, creativity, and innovative ways. Academic, academically greenery, instead of academic curricular, they encourage the child to generate ideas from general opinion and discover new things regarding greenery. Social greenery, the teachers teach the child to learn how to live in harmony with each other, build good relationship, develop understanding and compassion. Cultural greenery. The teacher teaches the child to cultivate moral values, which is most important. Moral values, culture and beliefs. Spiritual greenery. The core of Buddhism is the acknowledgement of power. Living with and above spiritual greenery states that learning must create a juncture for enriching and energizing spiritual experiences for the teachers and the students. There we met several people. Hello. Hello. There we met several people like policemen, car drivers, teachers, and asked. Mostly people replied us that we believe in skill. 100% we want to be skilled. It is not necessary for them to go for education at higher level, and that is why all the Bhutanese are doing well in their countries. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, Sri Rajkumarji. And one thing I want to say that the green learning in green Bhutan is also related to the concept national happiness in Bhutan. Now I request the last speaker, Dr. Usha C. Guha IAS, government patient, developer and educationalist, to speak on the education aspect of Bhutan and in related to our National Education Policy 2020. Dr. Ushasi Gua, unmute, please unmute.
Yes. Hello, all. And I think I'm the only person who did not visit but participating in the plenary session. But then, Uma Shankarji, Rajkumarji, and I missed all the eminent persons, your cooperation and your, what do I say, in the tour. But I wish to talk. All of you have spoken in such a manner as if I and Murthy were there in the team, isn't it, Murthy? We got a complete vision, isn't it, Vasif sir? Those who have not visited also understood what was Bhutan, how you all enjoyed the place, and how you acquired knowledge. Now, coming to the point. Uma Shankarji, as I was reading and hearing you, it gave me a very positive idea that Bhutan is doing agriculture, etc., etc., etc. But still, a point remains that why Bhutan did not develop. Though they have land, though they have greenery, though they have the climate, etc. Number two, as even Kishori ji spoke, that she spoke about the social security prevailing there, etc., etc. Still, the place remains insecure, and Rajkumar ji, please take it from me that crime is increasing there. There are problems. Kishori ji, there are problems. Crime rate is increasing. The simple reason may be, chalte, what Uma Shankar ji said, that because of unemployment, malnutrition, these things still prevail. Because they are very traditional, there is gender inequality. Though their policy, just now Hemlata said that Guamam is or Ushaji is going to talk about education policy. Bhutan goes with India. Whatever India does, Bhutan naturally thinks that if we can do 25% of this also, we will develop. But their own traditional beliefs still remain. There is violence on women. Their traditional beliefs, they remain there. Though they say that gross national happiness quotient they believe on too. But the regular survey, the direct survey, and the reports coming that they are remaining unhappy. There are problems. And they are not thinking of developing it in the toes of developmental factors or developmental strategies or indicators. Developmental indicators they do not accept. The king is going by his own traditional philosophy. On paper, of course, there is a national education policy and the nation vision is there. And I have taken out that on the broad prima facie on paper, the mission talks about that creation of knowledge-based society. The society is absolutely happy and happiest country with smallest population. They believe in lifelong learning. They believe in harnessing the full potential of all the children, but the education level. Just now, Rajkumarji said that they believe on skill. That means they do not believe in higher education, though it remains on the policy paper. Policy mission is also that they want to equip all children with appropriate knowledge, skills, and values to cope with the challenges of 21st century. But have they really properly jotted down what are the challenges? They say that their challenges are keeping the values. The king has jotted down or listed down some challenges and they are concentrating only on that. Madam Hemlata, I draw your attention, still the tourist policy of Bhutan is very beautiful. They totally depend on tourism. But the tourist policy says that The tourists, they have to comply with the moral values, comply with the traditional practices of Bhutan. One way it is very good, but still the challenges remain. And coming to my point, that what is the education policy? The education policy, it is similar to Indian education policy 2020. On paper, they are totally depending on India and other countries. Amongst the countries whom India is paying, the majority young goes to Bhutan, but still for research they depend on it. For higher education, the students who want to educate themselves, they have to go out. There is a lot of brain drain. They are coming to either India or US, but then this is one thing that has been observed, that whenever they want to take up higher education or education for some specific or for some expert subjects, they want to come to India first and then they want to go to rest of the places. The tradition nobody can deny, because Bhutan, the religion is Buddhism. Why this is so? That they practice, they are non-vegetarians, but then they practice not killing. At the same time, they have so many other things, no tobacco, no, but maximum number of opium and this drugs, they come from that border. That means their education policy is yet to be implemented properly. One more area, chalte, I would say it very fast, otherwise the time is passing by, already we are late. Health problem. Kishori madam, health problem still is very large. They don't have proper hospitals, not doctors, not nurses. And those who cannot, even the middle class, those who cannot come to India or some other places, the health problems remain. The mortality of women, pregnancy, these things, they remain very high. They are yet to be addressed, and I believe that with such kind of goodwill missions or exchange programs, because they still remain as skilled workers and we still remain the tourists. But unless otherwise the gap is cemented somewhere, they wouldn't. Why did we take the goodwill mission? Because we want that the problem should be addressed by people like us. So when we find out the problems, the challenges, let us try to think that in our small little ways, how to impress them. But the problem lies with the king who says that I don't want to develop myself, I want to go by tradition. They have so much agriculture, like green education, like everything, but then only sticking to the tradition will give them trouble. It's high time that they come out of this. They are blessed with everything under the sun. Only their traditions and beliefs may be challenging their development. Thank you so much, all of you. But I enjoyed I enjoyed
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I want to say that new education policy of India 2020 provides a framework under the development of the addressing the Bhutanese unique needs towards becoming a progressive and priorities for attaining its objectives. And the objectives is national happiness, growth, national happiness. So this is also impact, and as Usha told, the whole education is free in Bhutan. So thank you very much, Dr. Usha for your nice views. And now this is open for discussion.